So, many of you know, I think, or maybe you've heard me talk about it, that I serve as a chaplain in different places, or I have done so. And one of the places I used to work that now I still serve as a chaplain is Newington Transportation, bus garage. So I still go over once a week, and then, you know, if there's a need, a funeral or something like that, I'll do it for them. And I just, a lot of times I just go and hang out and drink free coffee, because I'm a mooch, let me tell you. One day I was there and I was walking across the parking lot, and I hear this driver of ours, who is just a great guy, but English is his second language. When he gets upset, sometimes it's hard to understand him. And I hear him saying, he's screaming, yelling, what's going on, what's the matter? And I come running across the parking lot toward him, and I see him bending down, looking up inside the wheel well of one of the buses, and he's screaming and yelling, and part in English and part in, I think, Korean, and back and forth. And so I thought, what the heck? I said, what's going on? He says, and I bend down, I look up under the wheel, here's this squirrel, terrified squirrel. He's sitting on top of it, and he's screaming at me. I said, wait, back up, let me help you. So I went and got a broom from one of the other buses, and I came over and I just kind of poked at him, and sure enough, he jumps off the tire and takes off down the length of the bus underneath. Well, you know, my friend goes after him. Squirrel's racing, and he's trying to catch him. It cuts in front of him to the next bus over, runs up inside the wheel well, that bus. So now he's bent over the other bus, or down next to the other bus, with his head up inside the wheel, screaming at the squirrel. And then he stops, and he gets up. He turns around and he looks at me, he goes, "Know my bus? Know my problem." Now I always tell people that I know this was an older squirrel, an elderly squirrel, because he'd been retired. You know, so clearly, proves that he was over 65, right? No? You don't think so? So I tell that story partly because it leads into the question of retirement. People, you know, I think always look at retirement as sort of this goal, this thing I want to do. Oh, I can't wait until I'm retired, and then I can do what I want, and then, you know, and I can sit on the beach, or I can work if I want to work, but I don't have to work. I can kind of do the things that really I enjoy and all that. And in a way, it's really sad when you think about it. In other words, I've got to endure 30, 40 years of misery, 50 years of mystery, 60 years of mystery, or misery, not mystery, maybe mystery too, misery, and then maybe I can enjoy my life. Then maybe I can do what I love to do. Who was it that said, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, right? And I think, not just vocationally, but in general, having that sense of what is it that I'm wired to do? What is it that I'm designed to do? What is it that God created me to do? So that I can do the things I love. And quite frankly, at that point, do I really want to retire? Karen always jokes with me that, you know, someday they're just going to find me face down at my desk, you know, in the middle of work. Because that's the way it is. I probably will never just fully retire, because I do love what I do in large part. You know, there are parts of it I'd like to get rid of, but basically, I love what I do. So, how do you discover how you're wired so that you can figure out what it is that you're designed to do? I wrote a book a couple years ago called Whole for Life. It's whole, the number 4, life. And it's based on the idea of what Jesus said when he said that we should love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. To me, that indicates there are 4 quadrants that make us unique, 4 things that are distinct to us, that make us who we are. If we come to understand what those are, and specifically how it applies to us, then we can build those up. We can obviously love him better, and we can obviously love others better, because we're doing what it is we're designed to do. And I want to just tell you quickly what those 4 are. Heart deals with passion. What is it that floats your boat? What is it that gets you out of bed in the morning? What is that thing that you would do? When I used to interview people professionally as a consultant, I would ask them, dream for me. I would say, dream for me. Pretend there are no restrictions. Pretend there's no limitations. Pretend money's not an issue. If you could design the perfect job for you, you know, Marcus could design the perfect job for Marcus, you know, if Rhonda could design the perfect job for Rhonda, what would that be? And I'd let them just go, and I'd write down notes and everything. And it was fun to watch the twinkle in their eye, and the spark, and the zip, and the energy, and the youth that would spring out of those conversations. And sometimes it was awesome, but it would make me sad to think, why can't we dream? Why is that we feel so pressed down, you know, by our culture, by our world sometimes? But that issue of passion, right? What motivates you? You know, is it that sense of responsibility? Is it influence in a positive way? Is it achieving things? Is it relationships that motivate you? What is that? that gets you going. That's your passion. That's the, that's the heart piece, what Jesus spoke about. Then there's the personality. What is your personality? Are you a driving person? Are you, as we use the 4 animals sometimes to help people understand this in a simple way, are you a lion? Are you an otter? Are you a Labrador? Or are you a beaver? Are you the king of the jungle, the lion? Rule, take charge, get things done? Are you an otter? Life's a party! Is that who you are? Right? Are you a Labrador? Stable, peaceful, sitting by the fireplace, just waiting to maintain that sense of ease and comfort. Do you bring that with you? Is that who you are? Do people open up to you naturally and start talking because they feel so safe and comfortable because you're that Labrador personality? Or are you a beaver? You like to get things done, you got to get it done right. You got to dot the I's, cross the T's, and you're energetic and enthusiastic, but it has to be accurate in the process. Whatever it is, whichever is the highest for you. People say, well, I'm a combination, and you are. But whichever one is most like you, whichever is most applicable, it tells you a lot about your personality or your soul, that inner person as God made you, okay? Then there's the mind. That's your perception. That's how you think. That's patterns of how you think. Learned behaviors of thought. But some can be changed, absolutely. But understanding kind of how you think. Are you more pessimistic? Are you more optimistic? Do you tend to analyze things? Do you tend to go more with gut feel? Those perception issues of how you think and the way your thought life flows, that's huge in understanding who you are and kind of what you're designed to do. And then the last part's the physical health, the power, the chemistry of, your natural talents, yes, but even your physical abilities that come into play both at work, at home, in hobbies you do, things like that. Understanding those 4 pieces, passion, person, perception, power, gives you a leg up in terms of knowing what you're designed to do, finding that thing, doing it, and never having to work a day in your life. And that's our goal.